Hello friends, welcome to the first session of Learn Android video series. I am Abhishek Vyas, member of G Innovation. Today's topic is Android architecture. Today we'll start with what is Android, then we'll talk about Android architecture. Our entire session will revolve around discussing Android architecture and different components of Android architecture in detail. And then at the end of the session we'll have some self-study topics. What is Android? Android is a Linux-based operating system designed primarily for touchscreen mobile devices such as smartphones and tablet computers. Initially, it was developed by Android Inc., including whom Google financially backed and later purchased in 2005. Android was unveiled in 2007 along with the founding of the Open Handset Alliance, a consortium of hardware, software, and telecommunication companies devoted to advancing open standards for mobile devices. Android is designed based on Linux architecture, but it does not include entire standard Linux utilities. Many Linux kernel components like Binder and Power Management are modified to make it more useful for mobile devices. Also, it does not support glibc of Linux. On the other hand, they have the reduced and optimized version of that, which is called Bionic. We'll talk about all these things in detail with the Android architecture. As you see here, there are majorly 5 components: the Linux kernel, the libraries, Android runtime, then we have Android framework, and on top of everything you have applications. Now let's discuss all of this in detail. The first one is Linux kernel. This is the most basic layer. The whole entire operating system is built on top of Linux 2.6 kernel with some further architectural changes made by Google. It is this Linux that interacts with the hardware and contains all the essential hardware drivers. Android uses the Linux for all its core functionality such as memory management, process management, networking, and security settings. As you can see here, all the drivers, the display driver, camera driver, Bluetooth driver, flash memory driver, USB, keypad, Wi-Fi, and audio, all these drivers which are interacting with the hardware are part of Linux kernel. And for all the hardware communication, Android uses this Linux kernel. Also, the 2 components, Binder and Power Management, are part of Linux kernel, but these are the main components which are modified within the Linux kernel to make it more useful and compliant with the mobile architecture. Next is library. These are the Android native libraries. It is this layer that enables the device to handle different types of data. These libraries are written in C or C++ language and are specific for a particular hardware. Now let's talk about some of the important native libraries in detail. The Surface Manager. It is used for compositing window manager with off-screen buffering. Off-screen buffering means you can't directly draw into the screen, but your drawings go to the off-screen buffer. There it is combined with other drawings and form the final screen that user will see. This off-screen buffer is the reason behind the transparency of windows. Next is Media Framework. Media Framework provides different media codecs allowing the recording and playback of different media formats. The very important SQLite. SQLite is the database engine used in Android for data storage purpose. Next is WebKit. It is a full-fledged full-screen browser engine. It is used to display HTML content. It also supports JavaScript, jQuery, and AJAX calls. OpenGL is used to render 2D or 3D graphics content to the screen. FreeType is used for rendering of fonts. SGL, it stands for Scalable Graphics Library, and it is the graphics subsystem used by Android. SGL is the low-level graphics library implemented in native code that handles rendering. SSL, this library is responsible for secured socket layer communications. libc, this is very important. Google developed a custom library for C compiler called Bionic. This was necessary for mainly three reasons. First one is licensing. Google wanted to keep GPL out of user space. It comes with BSD license. The second was the size. The library has to be loaded in each process, so it needs to be small. Bionic is about 200 kilobytes or half the size of glibc, the GNU version of libc. And the third and very important point was speed. All mobile devices have limited CPU power. It means the library should be fast. Bionic has a small size and fast code paths, including a very fast and small custom pthread implementation. Bionic has built-in support for important Android-specific services such as system properties and logging. Now let's discuss about Android runtime. Android runtime has mainly two components: core libraries and virtual machine. That is Dalvik Virtual Machine. Dalvik Virtual Machine or DVM is Android's custom clean room implementation virtual machine. It provides application portability and runtime consistency. It is designed in such a way that it supports multiple virtual machine processes per device. It is optimized for runtime memory utilization. It runs optimized file format .dex files and Dalvik bytecode. Java .class or .jar files gets converted into .dex file at build time. So all your applications runs on Android runtime in a Dalvik virtual machine. Now let's talk about application framework. These are core platform services which are essential to Android platform. It works behind the scenes. Applications typically do not access them directly. Now what are these application framework components? It's the activity manager, the window manager, content providers, view system, notification manager, package manager, telephony manager, resource manager to manage resources, and location manager, and XMPP service. On top of all these layers, you have your applications layer. These are the applications that end users use, which are contacts, file managers, browsers, etc. In all our sessions, we'll have some self-study topics. So these are the topics that we wanted to explore on your own. These are what is the use of Binder and how Binder works, how applications are hosted in DVM. We wanted to read about different application framework components and its usages. What is Service Manager and how Service Manager works. Now what's next? We are going to give you a demo on how to set up your Android development environment. These are the references that we have used for the presentation. Thank you so much. You can follow us on our blog, that is ginnovation.blogspot.in. You can also follow us on our Facebook and Google Plus page. You might also have your doubt. You can post it, your doubts or queries on any of these forums. We'll be happy to hear from you. You can also give your feedback on these forums. Thank you so much for your time and happy learning.